Hello! Welcome back to Bookcrafts with Jen. So this week I thought we would do maybe almost like a mosaic or a collage, and we're going to make fish shapes. You can obviously make whatever shape you want, but me and my artistic consultant Donna both actually thought of fish. So great minds think alike. So what do we need? Some colored paper, our book pages. You're going to need scissors, a pen or pencil to draw out your original shape, glue, and probably a marker because your fish is going to need an eye, so you'll have to draw an eye on. So first we're going to figure out how big we want our fish to be. I'm going to do, I guess, a medium-sized fish. Not too big, not too small. And then you can actually do this if you had a lot of maybe picture books or magazine pages. You could do a lot more colorful collages. But we're just going to do a book page collage today. So we've got our fish shape. Next, we need to cut up some pieces of our book pages into small squares. So based on the size of your object, you're going to need either really tiny squares, maybe bigger squares if you do a bigger one, especially if you're doing this, maybe someone who's got small hands, like a younger child, or just someone who finds it easier to manipulate bigger pieces. So we're cutting away. And the thing is, you're not sure how many you're going to need, so you're going to have to cut a lot of squares. Or, I guess you could cut out some and as you go along, continue cutting them, but especially, like, once you're in the middle of a project, you won't have to stop, go back to the beginning and recut something because you didn't have enough. Not if you can help it. So, we're still on the James Patterson book, though. This book has lasted us for every single book page that we have made. Bookcraft, I mean, sorry. Okay, so this hopefully is enough. So then we've got to put glue on our shape, because how else are you going to get the pieces to stick? You don't want a ton of glue because you don't want it being super, like having it squish out and be soggy and take forever to dry. Glue sticks could work also with this. And then you're going to just start laying pieces out on your shape. You want to make sure, so, see? You want to fill in all of them. Now, because fish have scales, I'm going to do some a bit overlapping so there's almost a little bit of texture there. The problem with the book pages is sometimes the pieces end up blank if it's the beginning or the end of a chapter and there's not as many words on the page. But you can also use some of those where you want to add the eye for your fish or whatever you're making. Maybe it needs a mouth. So we're just going to continue filling in. And that's why if you make really tiny, tiny, small pieces, it's going to take a long time, but you can get it like really precise and to the exact shape, because sometimes, especially because a fish is rounded, but these are square, so we also have to try and push them in a little, make sure that we're not overhanging the edges too much. Although that would be a kind of interesting look as well if it did overhang. When I was in college, we actually had to take colored bits of construction paper. And we had to make, out of all of these random colored bits, a self-portrait of ourselves. So that was kind of interesting. Because you had to really think, like, well, what color? I mean, there could be different shades, like I have brown hair. At the time I had purple dyed into it, so then I had to mix the brown and the purple, but you also, like, it has to look like hair, so you had to cut it into squiggly shapes, and then, you know, you've got to make clothes, and what color is your skin going to be, and do you want it to be an exact self-portrait, or more like, how you envision yourself, maybe like an absurd picture of yourself. So, but it was a really fun exercise, though, and it did get us thinking. So, and that was I was in 2007, so 13 years later, I still remember it. So I guess it did. I guess the teacher was onto something with that. So we've got, here's our fish collage. I did not draw his eye in yet, though, so let's give him a nice big happy eye. And we can draw a smiling face. Because, you know, he's just a happy fish swimming around. Now, I did have to draw it a little bit thicker just because with the black and white of the book pages and the black marker, I didn't want it to get lost, but you can use any color marker you want. You could even, maybe if you've got googly eyes at home, or get a different color piece of construction paper to make the eye. So, as I said, you can make anything you want, just you gotta cut out the shape, cut out the pieces, hand out some glue, and this is a short craft for me, but you can turn it into a much longer craft depending on how many you want to make. Maybe you say, hey kids, hey family, let's make 35 fish today. Go for it. So, again, not sure what we're doing next week, so you'll have to come back and watch because it's a surprise. Thanks for watching. Bye.